Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Mitchell's Childhood Memories, Part 13. The year now is 1960. I'm approaching my 12th birthday. It's an exciting year. It's a year of opportunity and hope because there's a presidential election in America that year, and young senator from Massachusetts, John F. Kennedy, is running for president. As a young boy, I saw him as a beacon of light and that would improve the United States. And I was really hoping he would win at that time. And I was excited. 1960 was also the last year when my family visited the Catskill Mountains and stayed at the bungalow colony, Excelsior Lodge. As always, I was a nature boy up in the country, and every morning I would love walking a half a mile down the road early in the morning to the nearby lake, and there I would bask in the glory of nature. The fish were swimming, and the frogs were jumping, and the birds were flying, and the turtles were crawling, and there was a special smell in the air, very, very special. And I did that every morning. Now my younger brother and sister were with me. My brother was just about turning 3, and my sister wasn't even 1 year old. Now my young brother 3, he liked to tag along with me, so I allowed it, with Mom's permission, I allowed my brother to come with me down to the lake. And he really enjoyed it, being with his big brother and seeing nature. And we did this for a few days. But then one day something almost tragic happened. We were standing near the edge of the lake. And you must remember, this lake was very deep, right at the edge, 4 or 5 feet deep. And I don't know how it happened, but my young brother just slipped and fell into the lake. And he fell like a rock. He fell right to the bottom. He didn't even make an attempt to swim. He was just, in 1 second, he was down. And what I also remember was this time, thank God, I didn't hesitate. I didn't think. The second he fell, I found myself flying in the air, diving into the lake. And I dove down deep to the bottom of the lake. I picked him up, brought him to the surface, got him out of the lake. My brother Norman had swallowed some water. He was coughing, he was crying, he was in shock, but he was okay. He was going to be all right. But he wasn't in condition to walk, so I picked him up, carried him all the way to the road, and started carrying him up the half mile to the bungalow colony. And just as I started walking, I was shocked that my mother was running down towards us. Now, it would have been impossible to see the lake from the bungalow colony. So how she knew that there was an emergency situation, she never came down before. Anyway, Mom took Norman and we brought him back up, and he rested, he dried his, everything was okay, Norman was saved. I always wondered how my mom knew, what instinct there was, and I asked her and she never answered. Now recently I asked her again, and now she has forgotten, so I guess it's a mystery that we'll never know. No, but both myself and her had very good instincts, which helped save my little brother Norman. 1960 was also the year that I graduated from Public School 273, the elementary school in Brooklyn. And that was a very, very good year for me. If you remember, in the 5th grade, I had a lunatic teacher named Mr. Marcus. Well, in the 6th grade, I had a fantastic teacher named Mr. Kerr. Mr. Kerr was everything that Mr. Marcus wasn't. He was experienced, he was professional, he was funny, he was also disciplined. He made the lessons interesting, and he helped motivate me and inspired me. And I really loved being in his class. I flourished in 6th grade. My academic grades were very, very high, so high that I was admitted to a special program of secondary school. It's called Special Progress Class, all because of Mr. Kerr. So that was one reason it was very special. Another reason was I became, I was with my best buddy, Howie Rosenberg. Howie Rosenberg lived in the building across from me, 363 Wortman Avenue. We had known each other we played ball, but we were never close. But in Mr. Kerr's class, In Mr. Kerr's class, he had become my best friend, my best buddy. I never had a best buddy before, and it was very, very special to me. We had the same love for the Brooklyn Dodgers and the same love for baseball and sports, and we had the same sense of humor. And we got along great together. And thanks to Howie Rosenberg, he gave me a very big opportunity. Howie Rosenberg was a captain of the school crossing guards. Now here in England, it's usually a woman who's a school crossing guard, and she's called the lollipop lady. When I first heard it, what? And if it's American, that doesn't make any sense. But they're called lollipop ladies because of the sign, the stop sign that they have. It looks like a lollipop. Howie was the captain, and he used his influence to get me to become a school crossing guard. I think I was the sergeant or something like that, lieutenant, something like that. And I had my own crossing. It was on the corner of Ashford and Wortman Avenue. It was a very small crossing. There were not too many students crossed there. But it was such a boost of confidence. Here I am, a boy, 11, 12 years old, standing in the middle of the street with my sign, stopping traffic, stopping cars, signaling the children to go across, and then signaling the cars to go ahead. And it was such a boost of confidence for me to have this responsibility, and I really felt good about myself. And this carried over also into the classroom. Up until sixth grade, I had been like the shy student, the boy in the back of the class, and didn't speak up didn't socialize very much with other students. But now, in sixth grade, somehow I found my voice. I came to the forefront. I began talking to other students. I had confidence. In fact, for the first time in my life, I began talking to the girls in the class, and they began talking back to me. I remember our physical education activity in the schoolyard during school traditionally had been the boys played baseball, the girls played jump rope, and we never really met. But now, all of a sudden, we were starting to intermingle. And I remember the first type of flirting started, like a girl who liked me would like tap me on the shoulder, and she'd run away, and I'd run and catch her and tap her on the shoulder, and then another girl would tap me on the shoulder, and I would run and tap her on the shoulder. I know it sounds very tame, but that's how like flirting was in the 1950s. But anyway, I was gaining in confidence, and I began thinking, I was like a Peter Pan type. I never wanted to grow up. I never wanted to go to secondary school. And then I thought, well, maybe this won't be too bad. And so I started, I thought it wouldn't be so bad. So this was the prime of my life. There was the going after 3 o'clock school. There was, on the way home, I could get a knish from the knish man, 15 cents, 3 nickels. I would get my knish. There was a joke we had. We said, how much is a nish? And we said 3 knickels. That was a joke. And there was Johnny the ice cream man. There was a push cart with Italian ices, came in a paper cup. We would squeeze the paper and the ices will come to the top. So sweet, so unhealthy, but so delicious. The rides came. There was a Sky King and there was High Flyer. You get into this bucket and it would go round and round with music, and that was great. And what a life I had. And little did I know, the sun was shining, but little did I know the dark clouds were soon approaching, and that my teenage years were going to be big time trouble. But for the moment, I enjoyed the sunshine, and then my graduation from PS 273. My mom came, my 4 grandparents came, and it was a great celebration. I was at the top of my world, and I was so blessed to have my grandparents there, my mom there. I was with Howie Rosenberg and my friend Arnold Smalling and Hector Roche, and I was at the top of the world. Thank you, everyone.